Scott says, what is an underrated amenity at a golf course? My favorite course ever is Elk River Golf Club in Banner Elk, North Carolina. They have an air pump by the cart return to blow off your shoes and get the grass out of the spikes post round, which the only time I think I've ever seen that is at the Pebble Beach courses. They have that as well. But that is a fantastic amenity because you get all the grass out and all that, and then they do that little extra special move where they just put it inside, like inside your sock, and really clears that bad boy out. But that is actually a fantastic one if nobody's seen that before.
That's a great one. I'm trying to think like more resorty, but like when you go to the putting green and they have those little tee markers that have the drink holder on them. That's a nice one. That's nice because it always feels like they put a little bit extra effort into like your experience when you do something like that. They know that you're gonna have a drink in your hand, that you want to put your drink somewhere. It's not gonna be on the green. That's a nice little amenity, but that's, like I said, more resort golf course. I'm trying to think of anything else. Any golf course that has the GPS that doesn't have the beeping and the turning off of the golf carts, I would say.
Yeah.
Because those are starting to get a little haywire.
Whenever you got a reverse.
I know like they're there for a reason, and people do abuse like where they drive the golf carts. You know, like not everybody's like Donald Trump driving them across the green, and like you shouldn't be driving them wherever you want. But some of them are just they're a little wrong. Like you actually look at the red place at the fence that they draw, and it's just like, where do you want me to drive this thing? At some point, we had that actually happen to us at Big Cedar where it was on the cart path by a tee box, and all of our carts just wouldn't go forward, and we were like, we didn't know what to do. If you went backwards, you actually went off a cliff. So we were all just like dying laughing, being like, there is no option here. Like we ended up having to push them all into a spot that they would turn on.
That is a sneaky great part about Big Cedar is that it's golf carts, because a lot of these resorts are not golf carts.
I think it might be the number one amenity there.
Oh, dude, it catches up to you. And these places are great. You go to Scotland, you go Ireland, you go to Bandon, you go all over, and they're really, really, really awesome. But man, as you get older, just walking and the drinking and eventually not sleeping, and you're just like, I need to get my golf cart, man.
You decide that you're going to cut out a certain percent of the population. Big E, probably not out there if there's no carts. You know what I mean? Like, and that sucks because you want everybody to experience it. I get why places don't have it. And we've been to places that don't have carts and they're incredible. But when you have carts, you bring in a demographic that otherwise would be not on the trip.
There were a couple holes that were cart path only, and you could just it was everyone's worst, most ridiculous hole that they had the whole entire day. And we were saying to each other, like, can you imagine if this was all day long? Like, can you even imagine if we had to walk out here, hit the ball, and then walk up to the green? Like walking out there, walking back to the cart and going to the next ball was a disaster for people.
Yep. It was a nightmare.
Don got up to the green. He looked at me like out of the corner of his eye and he goes, that one just set me back. That one just set me back. I'm going to pay for that tomorrow. Like it was one hole.
I don't know if it's an amenity, but I like a bell on a golf course when you clear the fairway. I feel like we saw that a lot in Scotland. Blind tee shots.
Yeah.
I like a bell.
There's
I like the bell.
There's a bell. There's a couple bells at Tobacco Road. We were there this past weekend. They got a couple nice bells. There's all those blind shots. Feels good.
How do you guys feel about a golf course that has like the 150 marker right dab in the middle of the fairway? The little white and black marker.
I like it. I like it as a nice reference point because I feel like that's sort of the target. Somebody said that to me this past weekend. They're like, if I can hit a tee shot and it ends up about 150 yards out, whatever club that is that I need to hit off the tee to get myself to there, that's kind of the goal, because then you're hitting like a 9 or an 8 iron or something. You're reasonably in play. So I do think that little marker gives you a pretty good reference point.
Are you not liking the placement of it, Frankie? Or do you want it to be on the side?
I think it's great. I wish every single golf course had it. I don't know if we're going to consider that an amenity, but I do think that it is far and few between. You don't see it that often. When you do, it seems to be the focal point of the hole. Like it's the conversation piece on the tee box. It's the conversation piece of the next shot. If on a par 5, like you're constantly saying, hey, the 150 is right there. Let's just get it within that. Or if you hit a 3-wood, the 150 is right there. You're going to be fine in your next shot. I know for my dad, like whenever we'll play a golf course with that, that's all he's looking at is like, how am I going to get it inside that? Cause he can't hit his irons well. So he's like, I just need to get in there. Cause I can't 160, 170, 180, 190. You're asking me to hit a ridiculous club into a green. And I noticed like a couple of golf courses do have that. It is nice to see that. I know that aesthetically, it's not the best thing to be looking at. You know, you're not going to go out to like an Erin Hills and see all these posts in the middle of the fairway, but I don't know, man. I think it does help a lot of the average golfers.
They had that at the golf course we played with Noah Khan. We were talking about him all day.
All day long.
All day.
Noah was
right
like,
at the 150
that was his
mark.
point to really, he's like, as long as I'm in that 150, I'm fine.
Yep, 100%.
I like when they got a nice display of all of the little stuff that you're going to need on the first tee. They'll have a couple Sharpies in there. Like Aaron Hills does a really good job of that. They'll have a couple Sharpies. You can mark your ball. They got their own custom tees. They got their own. It's just like a nice final stop before you head off on this journey. And it's like, make sure you got everything you need. Grab it. It's displayed nicely and you can roll back. So I think that's kind of a nice amenity.